Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Crate Expectations. I'm here with my co-host Sarah, who apparently loves Curious George more than she should. You're not the man in the yellow hat.
I didn't say I loved Curious George.
No?
I
Okay.
just wouldn't sacrifice him like some people.
He deserves it, man. So we are recording this live, folks. It's obviously going to be posted on YouTube, which is where most of the people watching are people who are going to watch this will see it. But we've already had a riveting conversation about Clifford the Big Red Dog and Curious George, so you don't want to miss these live streams, folks.
Yeah,
Yep.
just really sets the tone for the show.
It really does. I feel like chat just egged me on. But just throwing the chat under the bus too. I don't think they had anything to do with it.
I don't think they
So,
did.
anyways,
Yeah.
what are we talking about today, Sarah? What's beyond childhood books? Books from our childhood. What are we talking about?
Um, well, there's no news since last week, so I guess we can pick our own topic because nothing happened.
Nothing.
We didn't even get like a little tiny little update today, like nothing. CG came back from vacation last week and they're like, here you go, have the comeuppance and see you in 2 weeks and disappeared.
Are you surprised?
I guess I shouldn't be, but I'm not surprised. You know what? I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to for them to act like they were interested in interacting with the community.
I would just like Keller and Beck to be farmable.
Should he be right now?
I actually have no idea. I
I
probably should
feel
have checked. I feel like it's early, but also just make them farmable.
yeah, just reasonable requests is all Sarah's got today.
I don't see an issue.
Yeah, you wouldn't. So no, it is. I don't know. I'm not that surprised, frankly. I think they're working on a road ahead, which they were pretty clear about. Meatface is like, well, there's not like there's not a due date for it. There's not a time that's expected.
For the
So
road ahead?
yeah,
Oh, I was assuming we would get it next week
why?
because I like to assume things. I don't know if you've picked that up about me yet.
See, I actually was about to accuse you of that, and then I was like, I'm gonna just be responsible and ask. I'm not gonna just assume. And you were like, the thing you were thinking, that.
That's who I am.
I was gonna be like, because you like to assume things, and it was anyway. So, honestly, I kind of think that's when it's gonna be too. But like that's kind of he said it in a way that just made me think it wasn't gonna be this week. But
Mhm.
they told us about it, so it's like, well, it's gonna be like a little bit soon. He's working on it. He was working on it for 2 weeks at this point.
I also, though, was kind of expecting like a marquee character because all we've gotten is the chase, the ship thing happening right now. Um,
Yeah. That,
and we didn't. So even if they give us the marquee kit next week, I don't know if you could technically count it as a January marquee release because it would come out in February.
right. I think you could say it was announced in January,
Right.
right?
Right.
No.
So,
No, you're right. Like I actually think this is the only thing that's come like, and that feels kind of disappointing,
right.
frankly.
See, I'm disappointed.
Thanks. I finally got there
Yeah.
with your guidance.
You
I was
followed the
wondering.
breadcrumbs.
I was wondering how you got there. Now I see.
Mhm.
No.
Um, yeah, so I agree with you. I do think we'll get the road ahead next week or a big post next week. and maybe a marquee.
Yeah.
And then I also, and I don't know if CG will actually outright say this or not, but I would love them to confirm whether or not Bo is going to be a monthly event on the 21st.
Yeah, I honestly, it kind of makes me think maybe they didn't mean to. I don't know. I'm back and forth on it. I'm like, they can't be they can't have messed it up that bad, you know? Like, and it seems like because they didn't announce it.
Hmm.
But how would you feel about this? Let me rephrase my kind of my the way I was going to approach this. How would you feel if the event showed up the way it did, like no
Hmm.
announcement, nothing like that. It just showed up in the little queue. It's like, hey, Bo, event is going to be here, in 5 days or however long out they
Right.
show.
Like
And
how it
then
was last week.
yeah, and then like exactly like it was, and then CG just like 12 hours later just killed it, just axed it, just goodbye, it's gone.
Like it was an oopsie.
Yeah, like what if they did that? How would you feel? Would you feel like it was a lie from them? Would you feel like they promised that we'd have it? Or would it be like, well, it sounds like
Ooh.
someone just forgot to take it off the little timer last month and they saw their problem and rectified it? Because it seems like that would be within their power to just, okay, oops, that's not, she shouldn't be back.
Mm. Ooh, that's a tricky one because I feel like they would have to address that if they did that.
Would they?
I would if it had made it into the game and had a timer going down and then they killed it, I think you would have to. I mean, they addressed the legendary galactic legend whatever event thing that is, which isn't even technically on the calendar or has a countdown, and they addressed that just because people were like, "Where is it? Why didn't it come back?" And in such an uproar. So I can't imagine the uproar that would happen if you put an event in game and then killed it beforehand. I feel like they've done that before as well. That sounds similar.
Yeah, I can't really remember if they've ever done it. I just know I think that would be a kind of fiasco because that's a tricky thing to. It's like I would potentially have already spent money.
Right.
I'm like, oh, she's coming back. I better go buy shipments. Like I think that would have
Right.
been. I think that would have been my scenario. In fact, of like, because I had been waiting to buy shipments for the Grogu character, and I was like, oh shoot, I gotta go buy the shipments because they refresh tomorrow. I have to
Hmm.
do it right now.
Yeah. So you would have to address that. I don't see how you couldn't.
Yeah, I don't really know what they should do,
Um,
but yeah, that's a. So they do you think maybe it just showed up and they were like, whatever. I guess we'll just let them have it because they didn't. There was no fanfare at
right.
all.
Right.
They didn't even acknowledge it. Like it was like they were embarrassed about it.
Well, and so this is why I'm kind of confused about it too, because a lot of people have said they've been like, oh, well, they obviously brought it back because not enough people wailed the first time to get her and like spent money to get her the first time. And so they had to bring it back again to make more money. I'm like, but they didn't even put packs out there. So you would have been just throwing crystals at shipments and hoping to make it in time.
Right. Well, like realistically, do you think you would? Let's say you had an endless supply of money.
Hmm.
I mean, within reason, I guess. But like, do you think you would have made it? To
No,
like, if you had, if you, because
no. I mean, if I had an endless supply of money, like I theoretically I could have made it, but I would have had to refresh the stores so many times just to get all the shards I needed, plus refresh for
right.
signal data and farm signal data and probably buy signal data like packs. I don't know if I would have made it.
Right. Well, it was just weird because I had a way to get there because I had soft whaled on Keller and Beck already. If I hadn't done that, there's
Right.
just no way.
Right.
The Grogu one, I was like, well, that I guess that's like one of the more convenient ones because I had already farmed Paz, and then the Grogu one, I had 5 out of 30 when they first started, when he
Okay.
showed
Yep.
up. So I had to buy from weekly shipments, and then I had to buy from weekly shipments again, and then I had to refresh a ton of times on the I went through the 100s, I think.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Every time I tell you that, you're always like, oh,
I am like,
every
I
single
feel
time.
gross doing like the 25 and the 50. I'm like, ugh, this is gross.
I know. I feel judged whenever I tell you about it. So, and then I had to refresh shipments a bunch of times too. And even then, it was a close run thing. So, it was
Yeah.
just one character.
Yeah. No. Um, I do also find it interesting, and a lot of people pointed this out, is they brought Bo back this time, whether it wasn't, I'm assuming it was intentional. It's too weird to me to not be intentional. Um,
But they were so weird about it. They were just like, oh, don't, you know, not to say anything, but Bo's back. Don't spend too much money, guys.
but they haven't brought back Jedi Cal yet.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
Isn't that
I
weird?
so this will be month what 7, that
Yeah.
so they brought him back after month 4,
Yeah.
and now this is month, so now he's been out 7 months.
Yeah, because he was end of June. Yeah, so maybe bring Cal back.
Maybe they're just going for 3 total events before he's in the journey guide. So now they'll wait till month 8, and then it'll be kind of, you know, every 4 months.
Maybe they are
Sorry.
changing the cadence.
Yeah, sorry to introduce math to you there. Just,
Yeah.
throw it
Did
on
you
your
see
lap.
me figuring out like form?
You need a Curious George to help you.
Like, uh, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Prime also brought up a good point about PAX, is that they would have been data mined and we would have known that Bo was coming back.
Yeah, but they can be sneaky about it. Just add the packs before, like after the data mine. Data mines aren't definitive.
Yeah. I don't know. It's all weird. This is a weird January.
Well, we never know. Like if Jedi Cal was coming this month,
Hmm.
we wouldn't have been able to tell by the data pat or by the data mine. Like we've never been able to tell for the legendaries until they announce them, and then suddenly they're magically in the data mine.
Well, because they don't usually bring back packs for the legendaries, do they? Did they do that for Grand Inquisitor?
Packs? There's always packs for re-releases of legendaries.
Hmm. So Bo just got shafted.
I guess she did. If you want to say it like that. So, yeah, I would that would be an interesting thing. Prime said Bo stole Cal Kestis's, like what if that was what it was? Like they intended it to be Jedi Cal's return,
Hmm.
and someone it was just like some like morning thing. He was just like, I need coffee, but first I better schedule which legendary character will be returning.
I would like to think that it would not be like that would not be the case because that seems like very hard to get wrong. Like you got to be a special kind of stupid to get it that wrong.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't hate CG, honestly. Like, they make a lot of mistakes and stuff. I feel like there's a lot of things that you and I feel like they would have to be stupid to get it wrong, but then we don't know the full picture. So,
True. Um, I man, No, I still think it was like intentional for her to come back.
Oh, it might be. It might be. I actually hadn't thought anything about it until I think it was actually Rokaren in chat who like introduced the idea of conspiracy, that maybe it was just maybe she was just programmed, like someone didn't turn off the every month posted at the same time
Right.
thing.
Like repeat
Um,
every month.
yeah. So I have her now.
Mm.
So that I am just out of signal data though.
Oh, that hurts.
So
Poor Bane. I guess you got another month though to
I'll,
stock
I'll
up.
be I'll be fine potentially. But yeah, we're my guild doesn't get any new raid characters for this raid, so
Um,
uh
there was okay, so actually one other tidbit which I totally forgot about when Prime brought up. There is a infinite loop happening in territory battles. Um, which is on, I believe it's one of the fleet missions. I didn't do the mission, so it didn't happen to me, but I think it happened to almost everyone in ODV. Most people.
okay, so what's the deal? Because
Uh,
I've donated all my ships every time lately,
so
so
it was in Middle Fleet. I think it was phase 1.
oh, I actually did that one. There was an endless loop. I won.
And if you didn't kill the summon first, you ended up in a endless loop where you just kept going. No one died. So they put out a post saying it was going to be investigated. But the reason why I kind of find this interesting, I'm like, why is this happening now after TB that mission's been available for over however long?
Right. No, that's
Like,
always interesting to me. They're messing with the code
yeah, I'm like,
somewhere.
what did you do? And why are you doing it?
Yeah, like is Trench coming up? Are we gonna be seeing some separatist ships and their interactions change? Because
Right.
that's fleet two. That's fleet I can't talk, but the neutral fleet, right?
Yeah,
In,
yeah.
in phase 1. Yeah.
hmm Kind of like how when uh Ben Solo was being released, it broke the was it the C event?
Yeah, I think so
Yeah.
actually.
Same idea. They tweaked. It broke the code. So, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting because I was like, why is this the first time that they're like, "Oh no, this fleet mission is not working
Oh
properly."
no. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I
Yeah.
I got I got the message loud and clear, folks. Remember last time we were talking about how Anakin's capital ship was a possibility for the new
Right.
capital ship, and I was like, well, it's out there. Like I've heard about it. I didn't know who it was, and I just want to give credit to Gerbil. He was the one who had mentioned it. So, you know, I still, frankly, this is no shade on him. I just don't think it's gonna be that ship. Maybe it will, but I don't think there's any.
Uh,
People keep trying to explain it to me. They're like, no, it makes too much sense, and I'm like, I don't. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I don't know. I'm not to throw any shade on anyone, but I actually I hope it's not. I'm just I don't need more ships from that era unless they're separatist ships. Frankly, you know what I want? I want a Newt ship. I want a Trade Federation donut ship. That's what I want. A droid controller ship
mm.
from episode 1. Like they could launch episode 1 stuff, and that could be the capital ship.
And you would make that the capital ship
I,
instead of Trench.
sure. I don't know. I don't care. I thought I mean that ship is actually a little more iconic and known in the movies than a lot of
Yeah,
the other ones. Like I wouldn't mind that one, I guess.
that's a fair point. Um, I feel like a lot of people are saying it's going to be Trench next for a capital ship, which, I mean, you made a good point. He's an admiral.
He is. I think it's funny that Amelin Holdo in the game is actually not titled Admiral in
That's
the
a good.
game.
I didn't even realize that until just now. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, she's just good old Amelin. Go see what the Amelin wants. The Emerlin.
Go blow up the other ship. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Like
So
I would love to know. I'm actually really excited for the Road Ahead post because I think there's going to be a lot of um stuff in there for us to like dissect and see what's going to happen this year.
yeah, they need to soon, man, because I'm getting antsy. Like it's been a long time since we've had any kind of news about
I
anything. Like
know.
we're just out of. The new Datacron set is extremely engaging to me. I know that I was bugging you about it, and you were finally like had to spell it out for me. You were like, "I don't care." You didn't say it like that, but you were like, "I didn't realize it was like that." I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm talking to you about Datacron." Sorry, I had to apologize.
That was my way of being like, I legitimately have not read what they do. I just look for the longest text.
You're like that. That looks expensive. I'll
Yeah.
choose that.
Like, looks good. Thanks.
Honestly, like that's almost always the case, though.
I
Actually,
know.
it really almost always is. It's like, oh, it has two
Uh,
paragraphs, then that's the one you want. Yep.
yep, that's the one. Yeah, but like that's why I'm kind of like you went on like when was the last bit of news when Bo's event happened? Because they had her kit and everything.
Well, I wouldn't say that it was even news. That was just an inevitability that like it was going to happen, and I mean, we all said it was going to happen at the end of the year. It was no.
Right.
I mean, some people were like, "I'm surprised," and I was like, "I'm surprised you're surprised." So we were all surprised, I guess. But like otherwise, the last news we had, I think, beyond them announcing Bane,
Mm-hmm.
was announcing uh, Bo-Katan.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
We're
that's
gonna,
fair. So it's been like I don't even know how long. Too long.
yeah,
Because
that's what it feels like.
it's the end of January, and if you're gonna say that was the last one when they announced her,
It's 2 or 3
man,
months probably.
they
And you,
announced Bane. I don't
no,
even know when they announced Bo. They
it
had
doesn't matter.
a, I guess that was a day of her event, so
Yeah, it's fine.
so
They,
they
I just want
announced Bane
news.
beginning of December 1st.
So even just that, it's been 2 months since
Yeah,
the latest like anything, and you know that they've been working on stuff. I know that they take like a month's break, but there's stuff going on there.
right.
So I don't know. I'm engaged right now because I have Datacrons to be interested in. I don't know. What are you engaged in right now? What's interesting to you? Oh, the raid. You've been
The
enjoying the
raid.
raid.
I I friggin' love the raid. I'm like the raid ends and I go and I spend all the currency. I'm like, okay. And I wait a few hours and I'm like, let's launch it again.
Yeah, you're like, Zareth, can I do your raid?
I know. It's like
I suppose I could allow that.
I'm logging in. I'm doing your raid.
No, I mean I'm happy for you to. I just got Akbar up to Relic 8. I feel so dirty. I'm like
I know. I'm so
that could have been
excited.
Anakin, Jedi Anakin, or it could be Darth Sidious. Like I'm so close to Sith Eternal, and I'm putting all of my resources into Akbar.
Did you put an Omicron on Scout?
I will not do that. I am actually trying to just spend my Omicrons as I get them, so you don't feel tempted.
Do you really?
No, I just said that, but
That
but
sounds like something though
I,
that you would do to be like, I don't fully trust her.
as I said it, I was like, That's surprisingly reasonable. Is what I the thought I had that accompanied it. So,
Uh,
yep,
fair.
definitely.
That's fair. Okay. Thank you very much.
Well, I watched someone actually. They were doing the raid, and they had the Omicron, and they got all this damage on it. I was like,
Yeah.
that was a lot of damage. That was a lot more than. Oh, it's the Omicron. I was immediately
Hmm.
like, oh well, I don't care. So
Like
I
whatever.
just, it's just 300,000. It's not worth an Omicron in my opinion. Like it's not even close to worth it,
Fair.
in my opinion.
It
That's my,
just makes it so easy and smooth.
yeah. But it makes the smaller scores easy and smooth as well. It's fine.
Okay.
I
Fair.
know. Well, what did I get last time? I got a 14. Did I get 14 on that account? Or was it like 12? It
Mm-mm.
was like 12.
12 something.
Yeah, let's say it's 12.1. So
To
we could have gotten like a 12.4.
be like
Look at how impressive that would be to go
a
from
lo-
12.1 to 12.4.
to be
Good.
fair, a lot of what's happening is I have to do a lower tier because I don't have enough characters to. So I'm taking like Akbar was Relic 7 last raid, and I used him in the Relic 5 tier because I
I
needed
know. You,
somebody to go with him.
you shamed me for it, actually.
You're welcome.
You were like, "Oh yeah, well, if he was Relic 8, we could do something with it." Like, what do you what do you want from me? I'm already mourning the loss of all of my stuff for I just want to unlock my damn Galactic Legend. Kyber 1 is so hard to win
Yeah, but
in
like
without all the Galactic Legends. It is so tough to beat some of these guys.
I have faith in you. You can do it.
Your cheerleading does nothing. Thank you for nothing. So
I think you can do it. And worst case, you can come hang out with me. It's fun where I am.
I'm coming that way with Prevail Man. Don't you worry.
Part of me is like, it would be hilarious if I got matched with Prevail Man, and part of me is like, that cannot happen. Like, it just can't.
Oh, I would laugh so hard. I mean, you would destroy me. There's just I mean, even in his like he's on the very bottom rung of Kyber 3, and the people with like 5 or 6 GLs just usually, unless they don't know how to deal with some weird specific comp that I'm running, they usually just wipe the floor. Like it's not even close. It's like it, it's just such a funny mix. Kyber 3 is the most hilarious because there's some people that are like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Basically,
Right.
I can I can run a respectable Star Killer if I have to, kind of player,
Hmm.
and then they're like Star Killer plus kind of grade, and then there are some people who are like, I need GLs to beat GLs, and I don't understand how people don't do it the other like that and like I can beat those people. I know how to beat those people. So,
I need some GLs to beat some GLs.
but we all do. Honestly, like there's no one who can do fully off meta for the most part unless you do multi shots. But though the new Datacron set, man, there's gonna be all sorts of weird plays and counter plays. I'm so interested to see what the next season's gonna be.
Yeah, I really need to pay attention to what's going on in that Datacron set. I do know I want the BAM one. I feel like maybe I should get a bow Datacron just in case she is a monthly thing. You know?
Sure, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they released her in 2 months at least, just to get more people in on the boat. Like, there's, I mean, we could easily just call her Broke Catan. Like she is the most ludicrously like just egregiously overpowered character. Like you
Her,
read it and you immediately like, oh, I kill all 4 characters of Lord Vader team before anything else happens.
yeah, I was just gonna say her Datacron sounds insane.
Yeah, it's so egregiously broken. Like there's been other ones that are really good, but this is the first one that's just like easy button.
Right.
and obviously, like, you just read it and you're like, I don't really even know Bo-Katan's kit, but I know that you don't need to know her kit. You just need to know what the Datacron does.
You just need to button mash.
No, you can't. You do have to be specific about what you're
I
doing,
guess
but
yeah, you don't want to button mash because then you'll be dumb.
I will be. So let's go to the trigger photo, shall we?
Oh
And
yeah. Uh,
this brought to or brought by the continual fountain of trigger photos that is Tilo Mad. Um, he
Tilo kills me.
So you need 630 key cards to
Uh,
get Red Crate, and he said he was in range to do it. He was just gonna do it on Monday,
hmm
and
Forgot.
then he just didn't. So goodbye Red Crate, and I guess good luck getting Bane. I mean, actually, it isn't actually irrevocable, irrevocably bad. As long as you're buying shards on
Yeah.
the next two and get Red Crate on the next two, you'll be fine. But
Still, that
I,
just
you know, when
that
Tilo
that
posts a
hurts.
when Tilo posts a trigger photo, it gets like an extra, just like little boost of escalation on it,
Because
just because you know it's gonna be good. So
uh, it just makes me sad.
yeah, I know it makes me a little sad too, but also happy that we had a trigger photo that was worthy. So, all right, we're going to go over to Sarah's channel next, folks. There should be a link below,
hmm
or at least in the video description. Go like, subscribe, comment on this video, and then on Sarah's, please. And we'll be talking about all sorts of cool stuff. And we're talking about Zori, is one of the things we're talking about in a little bit. So,
No, we're not.
what?
We changed our minds.
Oh, well, I didn't say we were reviewing that character. No,
Fair.
you're right. I just totally misspoke. So, all right, let's. All right, well, we're moving to Sarah's channel now.